Hey familia, Igni here, and welcome back to Shadowverse. The final drop ever for Shadowverse 1 is here. The spoiler season, I mean. It's not out yet. Sorry for confusing you right off the bat. But they started revealing cards 2 days ago, and I'm here to tell you that I'm also revealing a card in 2 days. In May 18th, 5 p.m. Japan time, I'll be revealing a card of my own for this set. So look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. My final card reveal for Shadowverse ever. That's weird to say. Let's get into it. So first they revealed Sekka Guiding Foxfire. Ward Fanfare. If you evolved 5 times, put 9-tailed Fox Farewell into your hand. If there are any evolved allied followers, evolve this one. And then the Fox Farewell deals X random damage to an enemy follower equal to the number of times you evolved. And then you give Storm to Sekka. And then if X is at least 10, give it +4/+4. So you evolve 10 times. And then Sekka hits face for 7 for 2 play points. This seems really good because there's a lot of damage that goes alongside Sekka as an evolve payoff. So like Damien, for example, is also an evolve payoff that we got this set. There's a hair in my mouth that I cannot get out. It's really annoying. Okay. Damien, Drill Arm Battler here has Storm and recovers 3 if you evolve 5 times. And then if you evolve 7 times, it ignores Ward. So you have that alongside Sekka as another way to clear the board and deal face damage as an evolve payoff card. And not only that, but the gold also is evolve support. Rush, if you've played 2 other cards, evolve this. Strike, put a random Forestcraft follower from your deck into your hand, recover 1, and then on evolve it can attack twice. So if you just play 2 other cards with this, say 2 1-drops, play Iron Kite. Iron Kite only costs 1, draws you 2, and is a free evolve. Yeah, and then you also have Fairy Fun Fact as well. So now you don't have to rely on the Aria being a way to win. You can just use Sekka and Damien as your win conditions. And Iron Kite being a Machina alongside Damien means you can tutor them with Ruins of Iolan as well. So, seems like it's actually quite strong. How do you get 10 Evos? Iron Kite's a free Evo, Sekka is a free Evo. And then you have the neutral stuff, right? And Fairy Fun Fact as well. Blooming Dancer, Fairy Fun Fact, all of them. So I feel like you actually can get to 10. Especially because Sekka is essentially a Blooming Dancer for 1 in terms of Evo count. You don't even have to use her as the win condition because you just play her and then you bounce her back. You play her for a free evolve, right? You bounce her back. And you only have to evolve 5 times to get the token spell, and the token spell is stackable. So you can play Sekka, bounce her back for the free evolve. Then when you have 5, play her, bounce her back, get the spell, play her again, get another spell. You stack the spells on 1 Sekka. That's a lot of damage, right? So I feel like bouncing Sekka is the way you're going to get all those evolves for free. And these both seem really good. Next for Sword, we have Not Dominant Queen. Put the order into your hand, subtract X from its cost, summon X enemy firm henchman, equal to the number of times you've evolved this match, halved, rounded up. During your turn, whenever an enemy card is destroyed, deal 2 damage to the enemy leader, up to 5 times per turn. And the firm henchman has last words, deal restore 2 defense to the enemy leader, can't attack Not, ignore ward. So technically you can actually board lock your opponent by playing Not, filling their board with firm henchman, then only having Not on the field, and they can't get rid of it because they can't trade into the Not themselves. But there's that, but the other probably more relevant use case is just getting the dominant order for cheap and then destroying all of their enemy cards, and then just having Not deal and heal for you. It seems alright. I think the amount of evolves in Sword to make this really good, like to have the dominant order cost 0, you have to make the dominant order cost 0, you have to get to 7 evolves at least, which seems like a lot. You do have Giro Lol, of course, and a ton of other free evolve tools, but a lot of the evolve support for Sword is like horrible stuff, like the neutral what's it? The neutral guys, like Charlemagne and stuff. You do have Leod though. Leod is a potential way to deal more damage as well with the Beyond the Veil, right? Dealing 3 damage with that plus Not is technically could be 13 damage up to. Right? You could also play 2 Not turn 10. That's also an option. I think it's an okay card that seems a little inflexible just because of the cost, honestly. Right? I feel like it's an okay card that feels a bit inflexible. getting Dominance Order for free takes a lot of work. And then if you just get Dominance Order in hand before you get the free effect, like if you have to play Not on 5, for example, just to have a card to play, you can't even play it on the same turn, technically, right? Unless you have 7 Evolves already on turn 5. I feel like it's really quite... It's rigid, the way you have to play this, I feel like. It's not as, I mean, technically, I guess you could just play it, and then, like, it's fine, because it's fusion fodder for Fiery Strike and Kick anyway, even if you like, get it too early. So there is that. But as a card in and of itself, it's like, it feels not as fluid as I would like it to be. That being said, like, getting the heal and the deal is really, really nice just for survivability and just additional chip. Oh my god, Penniless Imp 749, thank you for becoming a godlike supporter of the channel. Penniless? I feel like you might be lying. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. It's because of viewers like you that I can continue to do this. Especially during this lull period where we're just waiting for Worlds Beyond to come out. So, thank you so, so much. I think if we get a gold sword that also supports evolve counts alongside Gyro Lull, it'll probably make this look a lot better, right? Because then it'll be so much easier to get the Dominance Order. Like, if we get an Iron Kite Elf, but for sword, for not, like, that'd be sick. So, but so far, she seems like a little tough to maneuver properly. Alright. Riley Soul Shaman. Excel 1, restore 2 defense to your leader's summon magic settlement. Invocation at the start of your turn. If X is 7, invoke this card. X equals the number of stacked cards consumed this match. Storm Ward Fanfare gain plus X. The bad part about the invoke, obviously, is that you don't get the fanfare effect, so it's just a 1-attack storm. There is good implications for this. You can buff up the ward, I guess, with Pascal, but I think more likely you're just gonna use it to ping off an enemy magic shield, like something out of Evamia or something, right? But the most important thing, obviously, is just the Accelerate 1. Like, you just play this for the Accelerate 1 because it's so, so good. And everything else is gravy on top. I wonder what the Rune Legendary is going to be, though. Interesting. Drock Soaring Flare 964 fuse dragon followers that cost at least 7 play points. Whenever you fuse to this, if it's the first time, put Staggering Conflagration. If it's the second, gain an empty play point orb. If it's the third, draw 2 cards. Rush Fanfare, deal X damage to all enemies. X equals his follower's attack. So it's Dread Devouring Dragon, but you get Staggering Conflagration, which then you can use to buff Drock, and then deal 2 damage to an enemy follower, and then you buff Drock, and then Drock does 8 damage to everything. If you have one, if you have multiple Drocks, you can buff a Drock to the point where it's dealing 10 damage on rip, which is pretty sick. So if you get Drock into Drock, and then you can have the cost of your Drocks with Celestial Worm God, and then you can proc Drock again using Aerosteel Dragonute. Because Aerosteel Dragonute is a 2/2/2 fanfare, select an allied dragon follower in play that costs 7 and activate its fanfare effects. So at least 7, right? So you can use Aerosteel Dragonute to loop Tarask and Drock are the biggest targets for this. So you have your entire hand. You fuse the ones that are bricks with Drock. You get additional free ramp. And then you just play Drock, and then you play Aerosteel, and you have a much easier OTK than Rowlek Dragon Gambles. So Aerosteel cannot proc Worm God because Worm God's targeted, and it cannot proc Degenerate Dragon or any of those. It can proc Maw though. It can proc Maw. So you can play Maw, Aerosteel into Maw, Aerosteel into Maw. The thing is, playing Aerosteel does ruin your consistency a little bit with Dragon Shrine, but I think it's very worth it to play Aerosteel anyway, just because it's so, so good. And it gives you way more reliable OTKs for Big Dragon than otherwise would be possible. So, yeah, these are both good. Lamonia Ruinous Saint 2/1/2. Put a Salvation of the Fallen into your hand. Evolve, subtract 1 from the cost of a random salvation in your hand. And then the salvation is a 1 cost, so it becomes 0 if you evolve it. Restore 2 defense to your leader, draw a card. If you evolve 3 times, give your leader the following effect. Next time your leader takes damage, reduce it to 0. If you evolve 7 times, summon Heavenly Aegis. Yeah, this card is good. I don't think it's that amazing, though. Like, you could play it in, like, Heal Haven, right? But the requirement of the hard evolve to make Salvation of the Fallen free does make it a little awkward, a little bit. I think the most important thing though is that this does lend itself to like Evolve Haven, so a hybrid mix where you're running 3 Holy Kitty potentially, and then you're like focusing on turboing your evolve points with like Holy Kitty. You get the what's it called? The Muse, the Cheese Girl. And then you have all these evolve effects, get the Aegis out for free, and also make yourself a counter damage. And then, with all of that additional payoff, you then still have Apostle in the back. So, that's pretty fun. I think it is an alright card in a archetype that can already use it effectively. So, it's pretty good. Maisha, Hero of Tenacity. Draw a card, evolve, put Purgation's Gambit into your hand, and then this is select the follower. If you selected Maisha, give it +X and Storm, which equals the number of times you've evolved, otherwise destroy the follower and the card. So you can use this as a removal, or you can buff up your Maisha and give it Storm. Once again, it is stackable, so if you have multiple Maishas over the course of the game, you evolve one, you evolve the other, you can stack it onto one Maisha and go big. I will say... What do we have? We have Shin? Still? And Robo-Arm Rescuer? Oh. I feel like I would be more excited for Maisha if there were more Evolve cards for Portal in this set. But all the cards for Portal in this set suck. We got Nameless Impulse, who... It is Evolve technically, but like still. Overgrown Wretch, not Evolve. This is Evolve, but it's way too heavy. What? 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 Not relevant. Not relevant. Not an Evolve card. Not an Evolve card. Good, great card, but not relevant. I feel like this is just out of nowhere, man. It's another Evolve Portal payoff where... Is it really what... I don't love it. I don't love it. I think it's definitely fine. Like, you could just play it. You could just play it as like an additional source of damage in like a destruction deck, especially if you're regaining evolve points with like Eon and stuff. But I feel like there's just not like, and requiring the hard evolve too feels a little awkward. I think it's okay. And there's like not really a good way to proc a counter damage with Evolve Portal. And it's not a good way to get through wards really as well. I feel like it's kind of mid, but I'm ready to be proven wrong anyway. And finally we have Despair Reborn. At the start of your turns you're able to evolve. If this match is unlimited, change the cost to 4. Discard 2 random cards from your hand. Summon copies of 4 random allied followers or amulets discarded from your hand this match. Give the enemy leader the following effect at the start of your next turn. Discard 2 random cards from your hand. This card is unplayable in rotation, but in unlimited it's incredibly strong because you can just discard on turn 1, discard on turn 2, play this on your evolve turn, and then you just summon all your win conditions and win the game. It is random, but because you discard on your previous turns in unlimited, you can like guarantee a good target. And yeah, it's incredible in unlimited. That being said, unlimited matches end on turn 4 anyway, so it's like whatever. In rotation though, I feel like it's completely unplayable. The fact that it's random, it costs 8, there's no room for it, but yeah. Anyway, those are the cards. So far, the one I'm most excited for is Aerosteel Dragonade. This card is great. This card is really, really good. And you can just use it to proc a bunch of stuff. Drog is also pretty cool, but he's really, really heavy. I will say, though, you can just use him for the fuse effect and then use Staggering Conflagration to buff Forte. That's one fun application, but yeah, other than that, he's like clearly a big dragon support. But for me, I'm happy with most of these. I'm happy with all... yeah. So far, I'm quite liking the direction of these mini set cards, and I hope that they keep it up as we get into more reveals. Speaking of, once again, I want to remind everybody that I have my own reveal on May 18th at 5 p.m. Japan time, so look forward to that. But for now, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.